Let's talk a little bit what this means. None of the bird natures is better or worse. Yeah? And often we have two scores that drive us. We have two strengths that drive us. Yeah? We are not one thing only. That's actually quite rare, that somebody has a score of 30 and then everything else is nothing. Yeah? This is rather the unusual. We usually have multiple strengths, and these strengths really help us. Because they, as you recognize who you are, you know who you need on your team to be high functioning. Yeah. So often when too many eagles are in a room, guess what? They can get very easily into a fight. Yeah. Because they're very assertive, they're very quick thinking, and they have long claws. Yeah. So if they're touched in the wrong way, they will show their claws. Yeah. So often when you see conflict in teams, that is because too many of the same natures are in the room, and nobody wants to budge. Yeah? So when you put your teams together, knowing what the driving forces behind your team members will actually allow you to look for strength that you don't have. Because guess what? Nobody can have all the strengths of all these four bird natures. That's impossible. Yeah. You want members in the team that match your strength. So you want strong people around you with different strengths than you have. Because if you have too many of the same, it just causes conflict, because there's no progression, there's no movement going forward. Because sometimes you need high assertive people, sometimes you need helpers. Sometimes you need a designer that can quickly come up with a design that helps you move forward. Yeah. And every group cannot have enough doves, because guess what? You need some peacekeepers that bring the emotionality back down. If the group is in the storming phase, having some doves around the table will bring down the emotionality so that you still achieve your goal. Yeah? Because in the end, all it counts is this tower 5 feet tall. That's the only goal that we gave, yeah? That you build a 5-foot tall tower. Yeah? So recognizing this strength, if you have too many peacekeepers, you're not making enough progress. It doesn't go fast enough. So you need some people also to be high assertive to say, push. Even if Hussein doesn't like it, he has low emotionality, but he's pushing. Yeah. So he pushed his team to get things done. So every person contributes an important piece to a team project. And as you're approaching your own teams, your own dissertation teams, the professors you're working with, look at them and think, what are they? What are they, and what are their trigger points, and how can I set them off with the trigger points, and how can I actually contribute something that moves them forward, that gets them responding to me faster. So learning who you have in front of you will allow you to learn how to do less of this and more of this. Yeah? Because you know who you are. And now you look at the world in a different way. So I look often at my own college, where's the highest conflict potential? And how old is this conflict potential? There's people who hold grudges for 20 years. Yeah? Putting them together in a group makes no sense. They carry that grudge that they have against each other still back into this group. So they're not contributing. Both of them are not contributing because they're angry. They're angry at each other. So they want, both partners don't want the other to succeed. So they're actually actively detracting energy from the group. So by being able to realize that and not assigning them to the same group, actually gives both of them an opportunity to be successful and succeed outside of each other. Yeah. But you as the person who brings teams together, you have to really think about this and look at this very carefully. Because it can be very destructive. Yeah? And university environments can be very destructive. And we don't want to lose highly trained individuals. A hospital that loses one nurse, it costs $100,000 to bring this nurse back to the point where he or she is independently working as a clinician. Same is true for a physician. So nobody wants to lose valuable trained team members. So by you thinking about, okay, I know I'm highly assertive, but I really need somebody that can communicate very easily. I have a press conference. I will try to find a peacock that can stand there and deliver this message with conviction, with passion, with emotion, and with life. Yeah, yeah, and prepare this person well, so that is some. Or I have that person on my team and say, you train me. You train me. I'm a dove. I'm usually really shy in front of the camera. Help me to be a better speaker. So by having this person on my team, I will use his or her strength and use it because I'm the department chair. I have to talk in front of people. So having somebody that I hire would bring that strength to me so I can have somebody that I give my talk to. I give my talk to Damali and I ask her, Damali, what do I need to change? What do I need to improve? How can I deliver this message more convincing? Yeah. So can you gain some of the strength? Absolutely. Do you want to waste your time on this? That's your decision. Yeah. How much time you want to spend on things that come to other people naturally. Yeah. So there's a time factor in all of that. Yeah. How much time can you invest in something that you're not good at? Or do I bring somebody on who's 3 times better than me and use that strength? Yeah. Come on.
Okay. So one reassurance is that every personality is good. None is bad. So because some people are saying, I don't like being a down, or I don't like being an owl. So that should not really bother you. What you should look at are the strengths and magnify those strengths so that they can cover up for the weaknesses. But also there are weaknesses that you can work on to improve. But as a leader, as a scientist, this will be very helpful to manage your team. Don't want conflict to pop up, don't want conflict to take you away from achieving the goal. So any comments or questions, reflections on this? So this is supposed to be your strength, yes?
Thank you. So I'm just wondering, so by virtue of our training or by virtue of our profession, are there certain personalities that are drawn towards, for example, nursing, or towards being a politician, towards being a musician, such that even whatever personality we have, we are comfortable with it?
So first of all, the other statement should be right. Whatever personality you have, you should be comfortable with it. because it will help you manage wherever you are, and that's why you are probably in this space, because of your personality. That is one point. The next point is, who is your neighbor and how do you end up in a group? How do you survive in a team? It's by knowing which other people you're working with, so that you can both move towards a certain goal. But certainly, some personalities tend to be more comfortable in different places, but all places have a mixture of personalities. So that should not worry you that you are in academia only hours. No, even doves show up. You might even find it. Yes?
But my parents, you have somehow talked about the issue is how to operationalize it. If I find that according to my personality, I will need somebody to work with who has some other strength. But traditionally, when people are being recruited into teams or organizations, these things are never done. So I'm just wondering, can I eyeball and say maybe I work with this one better? I'm just wondering how one can go about it for effective team performance.
So one, in high jobs, where it is very important, these are considered. And that's why you find that on interview, you don't have to fill this score sheet, but the people on the panel know how to identify this from what you say. And from what you say, from your body language, from how you behave, and from experience, the personality does not hide. It's the first thing that should show up. It's the first thing that should show up. Yeah. So I'll give you an example. Recently, we're having interviews, and so someone on the panel set a question and said, what would you do if you have to have an exam on a Saturday? Because this person was, I think, a Seventh-day Adventist. So this was just shot at him, and it brought out the personality of the person. Once this is shot at you, this is how I said, it's a Saturday, I cannot really work on a Saturday because I have to go to church. So they try to tell that person that where you are in a team, what would you do? Trying to see whether you could delegate, can you use the other members of the team, can you do what the person said? No. I'll just say, no exam on a Saturday. So what personality is that one? Yeah, so people will set questions for you in interviews just to know which personality. Because they know what personality do they need on the team.
I just wanted to know the influence of the experiences that we go through and their capacity to actually modify our personalities as we grow.
Okay, so your experiences will not change your personality, but they will make you more aware of it and adapt to it. For example, you find a dove who has had a lot of experience and training, and they will find themselves being more talkative, more assertive because of the places where they have been put. But the personalities will show you the default personality. Where do you feel more comfortable? If you get into a room, some people will choose the back seat, some will choose the middle seat, some people will choose the front seat. That is the place of comfort. So this will just show you that there are times you want to enjoy your comfort zone, but experience will bring you to a spot where you may need to get out of your comfort zone. If you are a reserved manager, reserved CEO, people will look for you and they will not find you. So at that point, if you know that this is who I am, then you step out intentionally just to get to your team and get it going. Someone had a question? So the best thing to learn here is your default personality and how you can choose. It's by choice if you want to work on a certain weakness or a certain strength, so that you can get it on board, directed by your goals personal goals, communication goals, and current job description and responsibilities. Become more efficient.
I was just thinking about Joachim's comment about the kind of people that universities attract or are attracted, and given the fact that they don't do these personality tests and maybe by chance you can find this, it makes me think that that just the position where you are at forces you to develop a certain character. And so my question is, how do we have dual personalities? Because when you go back in another environment, you might pull another personality like at home. You're not going to be a professor at home, you're going to need certain skills. Maybe that's why Hussein was struggling with the fact that the emotionality, he thought his emotionality was higher than what
Martin, look at your neighbor. He just shook his head. Nope, that's not gonna happen. So it is very rare. I mean, that's why I said we often have two sides to us. And the university brings out more the academic side out of us. But you are who you are. And my kindergarten teacher put me at 3 in front of the entire kindergarten and said, sing Christmas songs for the kindergarten. Because I was sitting by myself and entertaining myself singing these Christmas songs. And she liked it so much. So I have a natural inclination to be in front of crowds and have no or little stage fright. Yeah. So did this ever change? No, not really. Yeah. And I think we are who we are, and the more we know who we are, the better we are in terms of recognizing our position, our talents, the tasks that we have. If we speak a lot, maybe listening more is the benefit to us. If we are usually the quiet person, maybe raising our hands more open and standing up earlier to make our voice heard. That is really sort of the thing that you can learn over time, of where are your strengths and where are your weaknesses. If you are always the person dominating the conversation, you don't hear the others. So you really want to then more listen and give the others the impression, yes, I want you to be around the table, I want you to hear me. For you, it is very clear standing up earlier and speaking loudly and saying, this is why pharmacovigilance is such an exciting thing to do. Yeah. And your score was 29? As a dub, yeah. So you're usually more in the back of the room, and you have to slowly learn how to come to the front of the room. If you want people to be passionate, that's your way. Where I often say, I like to be in the middle of the room, so I intentionally go sometimes onto this side, so that somebody else can be in the middle of the room. This is really something you have to experiment with, how people react to you. And unfortunately, we are not doing these tests. And we end up sometimes with highly dysfunctional teams because we like frequently, and that's every workplace has this problem, we like likeness. We like people to be like us. And that's often the most deadliest sin that you can do to a workplace. Put people that are exactly alike to each other. Because then we don't really use the full potential of everybody. We use the same side of everybody, but we're ignoring the other side. And that's why things sometimes just don't work. Yeah.
I was saying that some personalities sometimes manifest given the environment you're in, or the people that are around you. So if you are like around so many peacocks, you tend to, you know, given your personality, sometimes you tend to calm down and maybe become a dove, or, but sometimes you can find yourself as a peacock in a certain group of people. That's what I find, who are too quiet.
Who are too quiet for your taste. They're completely happy with each other, but for your taste, they are too quiet.
Yeah, so in that group of people, you come out as a peacock, which is not really your personality.
But you might find that that group needs a peacock. And so that's why you should be who you are, because they need a peacock for them at that particular time. And if you all find yourself as doves and you have to be assertive at that point in time, then you must intentionally say, well, I'm in a group of doves, so we have to stand up now and take charge.
So at that point you become a peacock.
Yes. Because you know that as a dove, you don't become a peacock, but you take on a certain role intentionally for you to survive in that group or to move the group forward. Or you might have a meeting like this and you have a lot of egos, or you have some egos that are dominating the conversation. So as a leader, we should know how to tone down their ego personality so that you get that group moving. Otherwise, you'll be stuck on one point because you are talking a lot on that same point.
Now that you mentioned that one, the experience that I had in the training of qualitative analysis sponsored by NACHA, I'm just wondering, I'm an ego moderator, and in the group, I also have this ego participant.
How did it
Because when
go?
you are bringing out that point, then I realized maybe then I'm going to have a problem on how to run this group if I have.
So if you are the leader, then you give the ego to be a note-taker. One of the egos to be a note-taker.
I'm saying that now, like, this is the group that interacting with to get information.
Yeah.
So I have an ego in that group and even need a moderator.
You are an ego, madam. And they are not only 2 people.
Yes,
They
they
are
are
about 5 people. So what would be the challenge there?
because I am wondering, since this person will share the same personality, and yet I'm supposed to make sure that these other all participants are giving me the information that I need.
So what are you worried about you being 2 egos?
No, there was this thing of likeness tends to attract each other initially. So I'm thinking, would I end up actually having this person dominating? Yet the information I want is from the whole group. In
that's
such
why-
setting, like a community.
That's why you have time and say, everyone is going to speak for 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, and you distribute so that everyone speaks for the same amount of time. Yes. So there are tools that are just put in place to help us manage the personalities. The bells are there, the stopwatches are there. All this is put in place to manage the situation.
So I give you another example. This table had 1, 2, how many eagles? 3 eagles. So having eagles around could be a very beneficial thing because they get their things done. They move fast. Yeah, they want to move fast. So having 2 or 3 eagles in the group may not lead automatically to a fight. What we're saying is, if there's pre-existing conflict, then you want to separate them out, or you want to give them the task of you're the scribe and you're something else, so they're not fighting with each other. Yeah, because they can do this for a long time, and you have to manage that conflict for a long time. Yeah. So use the energy in the room and use the excitement to move you forward. And everybody should feel valued, appreciated, and moved forward. You know? And then that is usually what I would call a high functioning team. Yeah. You can have 5 doves around the table and they get things accomplished. Yeah. So as long as they recognize each other's strength and really move forward, you have a high functioning team. Yeah. Not every group has to have everything in equal distribution. That doesn't make the group better. That really doesn't make it better. For you to recognize more about these different natures is when it comes to conflict. That's where it's really helpful, what you have here. Because guess what? Owls can have claws too. So they can get really into fights with each other. And for a long, long time. Yeah. Yeah. Because they don't forget.
Another thing you need to note is that not all eagles act the same way, because as you've seen, there's a big range of characteristics. So it's unlikely that someone would show all the 20 characteristics, both in work and in emotions, in everything. So otherwise you'd find that 2 eagles are all the same. No. So it depends on what has been developed, what is more dominant in that type of personality. So you don't have to name this is an eagle, so they must be the same.